Welcome to Conversations with Cubit, and thank you for joining me tonight. And thanks for supporting these weekly conversations. I can't tell you how much I appreciate it. I'm also very excited about tonight's guest. I'm going to get to reintroduce you to a past guest of the show, and I'll explain all that just a little bit later. But again, let me just tell you, thank you for dropping in tonight. And maybe this is your first time joining us. If so, I got to tell you, welcome to the family. And yes, we consider you family. My team and I are excited that you found your way here. And to all of our regular loyal viewers, thanks for all of those encouraging words that you send to my inbox week after week. We really appreciate it. So keep those coming. We're also live right now on YouTube. That's right, live on YouTube. You can find all of our past conversations on YouTube. All you have to do is go to YouTube, look up Conversations with Cubit, and then you can subscribe. That's what you should do, subscribe. And then you can look up all the past conversations. We have some really great conversations with some really good guests. But right now, I want you to do me a favor, and I want you to share tonight's conversation. That's right. You absolutely must share this conversation. We're talking about gun violence today. So share this conversation with your community. Don't leave them out. Of course, if you've been watching the show, you've heard me talk about Green Pasture Studios. Green Pasture Studios gives this place a home week after week after week. They do full-fledged movie production out there in Spencer, Oklahoma. They do commercials. They are in the movie making business, and they even train people how to work in that industry. It's great. So look them up online. They're great partners of mine. I love everything that they do, and we'll be back out there soon. But tonight, we are out at Victory Outreach Church, located at 412 Southwest 104th Street in South Oklahoma City. And I'll let our guest, Pastor Meza, explain all the wonderful things that they're doing out here in just a second. But for right now, I want to give you my 3 goals just for hosting these weekly conversations week after week. They're very simple goals and the reasons I do them. One is I want to add value to my community. That's it. I just want to add a little bit of value. I want to inspire you to believe in what communities can become when we're willing to work together. And last but not least, 3, I want to love people, period. I want to inspire you to just love people, period. All this means is that I want to give you information, useful information and resources, and I want to celebrate groups and organizations who are making a positive impact on our community. Every conversation that we have here on Conversations with Cubit will be about information, inspiration, and hope. Okay. Joining me tonight is my friend, Pastor Martin Meza. Martin is pastor of a new ministry, somewhat new ministry here in Oklahoma City called Victory Outreach Church. At a young age, Martin was caught up in a life of gangs, drugs, homelessness, and hopelessness that almost cost him his life. But Martin experienced a magnificent turnaround when someone spoke to him about the love of God. And I spoke with him here on this show last May, and I was impressed with how he and the members of his church moved here with the heart to serve from California. And I have since noticed his footprint around town as he continues to serve those who are experiencing the type of life he once had. I'm excited to have him back to share with us all of the new exciting things he and his church are up to. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, folks, help me welcome my friend, Pastor Martin Meza, back to Conversations with Cubit.
Hey.
You're back, man.
Yeah, it's good to be back on the show, man.
Yeah, that's good. You've been watching?
Yeah, I've been watching. Been having some great conversations.
Great conversation. I'm lucky. I'm lucky that people say yes and all that. But you might not be so lucky today because I got crazy question for you.
Come on, let's do it.
No. Well, okay. So I know. So if you follow Conversation with Cubit, Martin and a group of people, probably 30 if I remember right.
Yeah.
Moved here from California for the purpose of doing ministry.
Yes.
You didn't have much of advanced. I mean, you did a little scoping out before you came here, but now you've been here for a year.
Yeah.
Going on a year.
Yeah. Next month will be a year.
Next year will be okay.
Yep.
I want to know, what have you found the fun places or the fun activities that you find yourself repeating or recommending to people that come here?
Okay. Well,
in Oklahoma City.
Well, the biggest part has to do with food.
Food.
And I have a family that we can never agree on where we're going to eat. Every time after church is, what are we going to eat? And, there's 5 of us and everyone's picking something different, But there is one place that, we can all agree, actually two places we can all agree on. One of them is Bricktown Brewery.
Bricktown Brewery.
Yeah, my family loves that. They love the pizza. They love everything there. So that's the one spot.
Which one? Do you go to the one in?
We go to the one in Bricktown.
Bricktown.
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, you go down.
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. And then the other one is Rendezvous Pizza.
Okay.
Yeah, and I gotta say Empire too. Empire Pizza too.
Empire Pizza.
Yeah. So those three are the go-tos. Those are the ones.
I see a theme. There's pizza at all three of those places.
Yeah. My family's very simple. They either want pizza, burgers, or burritos.
That's good. And we have all of the burgers are nonstop around here.
I mean, Tucker's Burgers is fire.
Tucker's.
Yeah.
You've been around.
Yeah.
Right. What's the strangest food thing that Oklahomans? What is it?
Fried pickles.
Fried pickles. That's an Oklahoma thing.
Fried pickles. I've never tried them before, but I love them. They're good. This is the first time I've tried them here.
That's right. Have you got used to our weather? Because you went through 2 winters. This is your first.
The first winter.
First winter.
Yeah, first winter. And they told me it wasn't as bad.
This was not this.
But when
people are saying when are we going to have winter?
Yeah. So when it hit, I was, if this is not winter, what is this? But just yesterday we were on the streets canvassing, passing out flyers, and it was really cold. It was windy. And today it gets hot. We're out there and we're sweating. So I have a group of young people that have come from Chicago to help me this whole week, and they're part of the cast as well. And I just tell them what I've been hearing everybody tell me about the weather. It's bipolar weather. Just hold on, 15 minutes, it'll change.
It's going to change.
It's going to change.
It's going to change. That's right. Better or worse, but it is going to change.
Yeah.
Look, I want to know a lot about what's happening here at the church. I see a lot. I pull up this. It's Tuesday night. Yeah. Lots of activity outside. Lots of kids. I lost my grandson because he's out there playing basketball when he should be helping me. But so there's a lot going on that interests kids and young people and all of that. Tell us about Victory Outreach Church. What makes this church and this ministry different than others? Yeah.
Well, that's a question I've gotten a lot, and it's always come in this form. There's a lot of churches here in Oklahoma. Why Oklahoma City? Yeah. And what I say is that there is a uniqueness to our ministry. I believe, that in 1967, when we began, it was a ministry that began in the heart of God because there was such a great need. And we're the type of ministry that will take no for an answer. We go, we push, we want to see results because we know that it works. We've seen it in our lives, And so we believe that Victory Outreach Church is a church for the city. And there's a uniqueness behind it. And we've seen that throughout this year as people have come into their church. They've sensed a sense of dignity and a sense of destiny unfolding right before their eyes. One of the things that people ask me, why did you stay in church? Because it wasn't easy. I was 19 years old when I first got saved. They said, well, how did you stay? I bet there was a lot of things pulling you in every direction. And I said, you know what? I just felt a sense of destiny being unfolded before my eyes. Like I felt like this is where I belonged. And as I took a step, my purpose began to be unfolded. I began to understand that God had a calling on my life, that I wasn't destined to die a drug addict, a gang member out on the streets, that I went through some things because I chose to go through those things, but all along God had a purpose for my life. And when people come to Victory Outreach, they sense that. Because I believe a lot of people have this question. As you're driving to work on Monday, I believe everyone has asked themselves this, there's got to be more. There's got to be more. And there is more. And the more is when you answer that calling over your life, when you find out that there is purpose for your life and you begin to live out that purpose. That is the more. That is a satisfying reward that you get every night. When I go to bed, I feel satisfied that I'm doing what God has called me to do,
Yeah. Is there a target audience for what Victory Outreach is doing? Is there a target audience? Who is it? Who are you really here for? We're here
for everybody. But we do believe in this generation. We believe in this generation, and this generation, as my generation was reached, we believe in this generation now that if we reach them now, that powerful things to take place in the future, So we definitely go after this generation. We believe in the young adults, we believe in the students, we believe in the high school students, and those are who we're after here in Oklahoma City.
Yeah. What schools are you working with now? Do you know?
Well, we have been partnering with some of the schools out here in the South. We're really going after even now, as we have young people that are here from Chicago, and they're helping us to hit the streets every day. But we have set some goals to go after, like North Classen High School and South Santa Fe High School, Capitol High School, Grant High School, and so we're gonna be hitting actually those tomorrow and Thursday and Friday, and so we're believing for breakthrough with them.
That's good. That's good. I have a heart for Southside Oklahoma City, and in particular, Oklahoma City Public Schools. So I would love for you to see your footprint in those schools. What about your first year in Oklahoma City? What has it been like? What has the ministry been like? I know you hit the ground running. It was a small start, but it was a hard charging start. What's it been like in the first year?
It's been everything I imagined. We definitely were pumped to come, and we adjusted, but we hit the ground running, and we started reaching out into different communities, and we started hearing what was the cry, what was the need of the city, and it was very quick to find out, what it was. It was that summit that we had, the peace summit that we had, where we were able to hear some of the needs of the city, and so very quickly, we mobilized what we call house fires. They're house fires. They're home Bible studies throughout the city, in different communities, trying to reach different communities, because we're here, but we believe that God has called us to have a citywide influence.
Wow.
We're on the south side, but I believe in that God has called us to have a citywide influence and to reach out. And so we're in the north, we're in the south, we're in the east, we're in the west. And so we began with that, launching out our house fires, where, sometimes when you come to church, you can come in, and then, sometimes you leave right away, but at these house fires, you come, you're in a house, it's a smaller setting. There is prayer, there is worship, there is fellowship, there is the word, and so it's a better way to build relationships, deeper relationships. And so we launched that out quickly, very, very, very soon. And then also our student ministry took off right after that. I mean, our student ministry began to grow, and they meet actually here on Tuesdays at 7:00. But they ministered to a lot of different kids from Oak Grove, from Rotary, from all over southern, South Oklahoma City, and even in the northwest side, the Lyrewood Apartments. There's some kids that come out from that area as well, and they get picked up, and they come here on Sunday, on Tuesdays, and they gather and they worship and they praise, and they receive prayer. So it's been a very good transition, and as we step into our second year, we are believing to turn up the fire, and push it even more, because one of our themes this year for us is there is more.
There is more.
There is more, and we believe that there is more. There is more people to reach. There is more families to minister to. There's more young people to help, and one of the biggest things is the gun violence. From that peace summit, I've had a burden to okay, what can we do? How can we help? How can we provide some type of resource to the city, and so I'm excited for what's coming up this weekend. We have a big weekend, huge weekend, and we're believing for breakthrough. Yeah.
Before we go to the show that you're going to be putting on is, and I know one of the things that you like to that you minister to is those that are battling drug addiction. And gangs and all that kind of stuff. I'm curious, and I'm hopeful that you have a transformational story for me, where in this year that you've had some transformation in the area of gangs, homelessness, hopelessness, or drug addiction that you might be able to share that might inspire someone to come and check you out.
Yeah. One of the things that has really been refreshing for me and my whole entire team here in Oklahoma City is that if you invite 10 people to church, 7 of those people are going to come. And, in California, that's really not the case. You invite 10 and you'll be lucky if one of them shows up.
Really?
That whole year, And so what's been real refreshing to us is to be able to speak to somebody on the streets and then see them come into our services.
Wow.
And experience change and experience God. Just this, Saturday, we were doing a rally in Bricktown. We had the sound system, and we had some rappers who started freestyling, no cussing. It was all positive. And so we invited, hey, if anyone here can rap, if anyone here can flow, jump on the mic, just keep it clean,
Yeah.
And two guys jumped on, and they showed up to church on Sunday.
Really?
Yeah, one of them, his parents was dropping them off, and they stayed. Then afterwards, we went to go eat at Chicken and Pickle, and they went with us, and they were with us the whole day, two of them. And so, one of the things I feel is that when they come, they sense a purpose. They sense belonging, and transformation is quick because there's 30 of us talking to them. Hey, God has a plan for your life. Hey, man, that was awesome. Hey, that was great. Man, you dropped it, when you, with that flow, And so we've been able to see that, not just, that was just recent, but we've been seeing that throughout the year, that everyone that we talk to, they come to church, and it's not just hype, they're actually experiencing God's presence, and they're saying, man, there's something here. There's something here, and so we've been able to see that. I mean, even with, when we go out into the neighborhoods and talk to some of the ones that we run to that are in gangs, and we've been able to see that as well with them, where we invite them, they come, some of them need rides, we pick them up, we'll bring them to church, and we see the change, we see God doing something in their lives.
I'm curious, what's the difference? What's the difference between ministry? You've mentioned one, our willingness to come along. Like we have churches, and so we have pastors, we have ministers, we have nonprofits. We are flooded with it here. But what's the difference in serving in Oklahoma City than in California where you were?
Yeah, one of the things that I noticed right away is that there's a big desire in the community to serve, to provide resources. And in this community, in Oklahoma City, one of our first weeks when we came here, we hosted a pastors and community leaders luncheon. This was before we came here. This was us just counting it out. Within 1 week, 40 different leaders, organizations showed up to be a part of this, And what it showed us is that there is a hunger, there's a desire for resources to be poured into the community. And so I believe that, we're not just a church. We're not just, a church on the corner, come to church, but we believe in giving out. We believe in going out even to the streets and becoming a resource to the city, I think I looked up, there was about 4,000 registered churches in Oklahoma City. There was about 2,500 registered dispensaries, And so, right away, my thought is, we got to come in with something to offer. Right. And that's what we do. We come with something to offer, and we come with trying to find out where the needs to the city and providing some type of resource for that.
That's good. That's good stuff, man. And I can see that. Okay, so you talked a little bit about this, and this is kind of a heart of mine is gangs here in Oklahoma City. Yeah. And I know that you mentioned last year when we talked that your heart was pricked when you saw the documentary Gangland about Oklahoma City from California, and that began to put Oklahoma City on your prayer list. Ultimately got you here. It's my homie now. What have you found to be Oklahoma City's gang problem, and then how do you address it with your youth groups?
Yeah, well, what's been interesting with the gangs is that there's a new generation rising up, and to back in the days, you would be able to identify a gang member more than in this generation. Back in the days, a gang member was bald, had baggy pants. You could see them right away. This generation is a little bit different. They dress a little bit different. They have a different style, and sometimes you could look at them and kind of overlook them. But as we've been in Oklahoma City, there is a gang problem. It's a lot different than it was. I wouldn't say that they are more, it's less dangerous, because I think they're a little bit more dangerous now.
More dangerous than 90s.
More dangerous than the 90s, because from what I've seen, from what I've heard, they're just quick to pull a gun out. They're quick to just move in that direction. And so, that's why, this drama that we're putting on, documents that, it could seem that this life is glamorous, but it leads to death. It leads to prison. It leads to a dead end, And through this presentation, you're able to see that it could be all fun and games at times, but when you really look at it, it leads nowhere.
Yeah. So tell me a little bit about this presentation. This is why we're here, right?
Yeah.
Is we talked a little bit about your mission to deal with gun violence in Oklahoma City, and this is one way that you want to do it is with this dramatization or this presentation. Tell me about it. Tell me about it. What's the name of it?
It's called Raised to Life. Raised to Life. And what's so powerful about this drama is that when I was 18 years old, I saw one of these dramas put on, and what I saw was my life. I saw my life on display, and I found out where I was headed quickly. And so the magnitude of this drama, of these plays, is that you're able to see. And it's a real life story. It's based off someone's life who was shot in the face, died 3 times. The last time he was pronounced dead, and homicide detectives were at the hospital because it had turned into a homicide, so they were already investigating the case. And yet when his mom was asked to come and say her final goodbyes, this was a mom that believed in the power of prayer. And she was not going to take no for an answer. She cried out to God in that room. She cried out to God. And as she was crying out to God, her son began to move. And she let out a cry, and she said, he's alive, and doctors rushed back. They had already unhooked him, and they hooked him back on. And that's why it's called Raised to Life, because he was dead, he was pronounced dead, and he comes back. And this young man is doing work all over the city as well. God has a plan over his life, and as we go through the drama, we're able to see the 24 hours that lead up to him being shot. From the time he wakes up to the time he's pronounced dead, and just the things that he goes through in that day. The document, and he was a documented gang member here in Oklahoma City. And it's just, I believe it was the power of God that raised him back to life, and brought him back for a purpose, And so this drama, we'll have those dynamics of what it is to be in gang life, what it is to have a mother that cares for you. And it just so happened that day before he gets shot, he goes to see his girlfriend, and her dad was a pastor. And so the gospel was ministered to him that day. And, he said, you know what, I'm not ready. I'll see you next Sunday. And later on in that day, he dies, and he comes back. But it's a powerful story about a young man who...
Here in Oklahoma City.
Who
wrote the play?
So I have a team that we, for a whole week, we worked on the script. We heard his story. We recorded him, heard his story, and then, worked on the script for a whole week. Took us a whole week of just writing out, all the scenes. And there's video with it too. So it goes from live on stage to video, and then to live on stage again. So, it's going to be a powerful thing, I believe.
Right. Now, tell me when the play is.
The play is this Saturday, March 25th. The doors open at 6 o'clock here at Victory Outreach Church, 412 Southwest 104th Street in Oklahoma City, off Walker and 104th.
Yeah. So that's Saturday.
Yes.
You got a youth group. Does the youth group meet differently than when church?
Yes.
So
yes.
How do we get youth involved?
So our youth ministry is called the Gang Ministry, GANG, and that stands for God's Anointed Now Generation, and we believe that this ministry is very powerful because there's purpose, there's vision. It's not just us gathering and just singing Kumbaya, but it's really us envisioning the students. Hey, there is more for your life. God has a plan for your life. God can unfold things. Things could take off in your life, and so they gather every Tuesday here at 7 o'clock. And if they need a ride, just call us up, send us an email. We'll pick you up and we'll bring you here. But we believe this is where destiny begins. Destiny begins to unfold here, and it's just been so awesome to see. Our youth ministry, our youth group, our leaders, they started having barbecues at Oak Grove.
Yeah.
And the kids would come, and then they started having basketball tournaments, and the kids would come. And then they said, okay, we want to bring you guys, to our youth nights. And so they started picking them up, and these are kids that already know to be ready at this time, at this location, because Brother Jay, Brother Josiah is going to come by, I'm going to pick you up and bring you to church,
That's that consistency and always showing up.
Yeah.
That's good. I want to commend you. Well, how much does it cost to see the play?
Free. It's completely free.
You got it, free 99.
Free 99. Yeah, free 99. Come. Doors open at 6. We're gonna have a few presentation with music, and then we'll get the show going.
That's outstanding. So I appreciate everything you did. I appreciate inviting me back and being able to share this kind of stuff. I'm going to see if my grandson and my kids want to come and check out the play on Saturday, because we all about free.
Yeah,
right?
yeah, that's right.
We're all about
that's
that. And good entertainment.
Yeah.
Good entertainment. Let me say this to everybody watching. There's been a couple of shootings in Oklahoma City by 4-year-olds, 5-year-olds that got a hold of a gun. We are Oklahoma. We're gun crazy. We're hunters. We're sportsmen. We're whatever it is. We have guns, but we want to be responsible gun owners. So find gun locks. If you need a gun lock, hit me at my DM. If you need a gun lock, if you need 2 gun locks, you need 4 or 5 gun locks, let me know. I will get you a gun lock. But store your weapons. Store your guns. Put them in safes. Put them in places non-accessible. And I have gun locks. Don't let these babies get a hold of your gun. Can we do that? Can we agree?
Yeah,
If you're gonna have a gun, be responsible, lock it up, right? That kind of thing. So anyway, thanks for doing the show and thanks for serving in Oklahoma City. I appreciate it. That's Conversations with Cupid. We'll see you again here next week live.